Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights. Last episode, we spoke with Fenthic, Desther, and Arabeth about what was going on and finally got our, mission. We need to go out into the city and find the Waterdavian creatures, wherever the hell they are. We got a lead, there may be one in the Waterdavian district, but aside from that, we don't know. For now, though, let's just speak with anyone else we may find in here. Like right here. Sergol.
Hello to you.
Greetings, Ken. Arabeth has instructed me to provide whatever service I can in your mission to recover the missing Waterdavian creatures. However, my magic is not of a healing nature. My skills are tied to the teleportation portal in this temple and the Stone of Recall in your backpack. Is there something I can do for you, Ken? Who are you? I am Sergol, a priest of Tyr. It is my duty to aid and assist those in the service of Neverwinter, though I am no healer. Okay. Teleportation portal, Stone of Recall? I don't understand. I thought you would be familiar with this by now. However, it is important, so I will go over the use of the Stone of Recall again. In your backpack, you carry a Stone of Recall. You can activate this stone at any time, and it will instantly teleport you and anyone in your service back to this temple. This will allow you to return quickly to town whenever you need to, saving precious traveling time. That's handy. There is more, Ken. Once you have used the stone, go through the teleportation portal and it will instantly send you back to the place your stone was last activated. Anyone in your service, henchmen, familiars, and the like, will also be transported with you. Now, is there anything else I can do for you, Ken? No, goodbye. Farewell, Ken. May the grace of Tyr be with you. And something I should do here, put the Stone of Recall in my hotkey slot so I don't have to open that every time. If I remember right, yeah, barred from the other side, can't go in. This one, however, we can go in.
Greetings of the even-handed to you. Welcome to the House of Tyr. I am Reverend Judge Olef Uskar, in service of the Maimed God.
Hello, Olaf. I'm Ken Daniels. Will you answer some questions? This Terran home welcomes your well-mannered address. Ask what you will, and I shall respond as I am able. What is your position here? We administer to the plague sufferers. Previously, we were working on artifact recovery, which may be even more important now. It is really a matter that would only concern someone more spiritually minded, and I don't think you are the type. No offense meant. I might still be able to help. Perhaps I was too quick to judge. You seem sincere enough. You may be able to understand why this is so important. In the weeks before the plague, we uncovered the tomb of Miaslasnia Fairblade. She traveled widely with Haluath Never, founder of Neverwinter. This was a great discovery and gave clues to the whereabouts of the founder's resting place. That would have been a great discovery indeed. The plague undoubtedly complicated things. Yes, it did. It is very unfortunate because pursuing these tombs becomes all the more important with the city in crisis, as it is. People are scared, and the lack of progress on a cure has diminished their hopes. A find like this would buoy their spirits. There is also a chance that powerful artifacts could be found alongside Haluath Never's remains, though I would not rest my hopes upon it. What do you know about Haluath Never? He was the founder of Neverwinter. Actually, not much is known about him, really. He's become a bit of a legendary figure. He reportedly fortified a fledgling Neverwinter against the Illest barbarians, deflecting their wrath to Luskan and setting the tone for our uneasy relations with that city. Knowing the details of his life could be very beneficial to the city. The people need to know they have a history of defeating adversity. I will help you find these tombs. I welcome your aid in this matter. You couldn't have arrived at a more fortuitous time. Here, take this letter with my seal. It signifies that you act with my sanction. Take it to Briley in the Peninsula District, and he will aid you. He guards the one tomb already found. It is in the basement of a house in the east side of the Peninsula District. Return to me if you find anything, and I will reward you. Of course. And we have a letter here, which says, This letter bears the seal of Reverend Judge Olaf Uskar and indicates that the bearer is in his service. This letter is to be presented to Briley, a young cleric guarding a tomb in the Peninsula District. Should be easy enough.
Greetings to you again. It is good to see you return to this House of Tyr.
I hope there has been some progress in the search for Haluath Never's tomb. It would raise the spirits of the city. I need temple services. Lord Arabeth is handling the basic services we offer. You will have to go speak to her for whatever you need. Okay. And we also have, it looks like, several books and a dresser and a cabinet here with some coins. I'm just going to drop this over in here. Usually I always put important items that I can't... This is where I keep things I need to access, like potions and the like, but back here is where I keep stuff that is just going to be used when it needs to be used. And we have many book piles here. Famous Citizens of the Sword Coast. I believe we already read that one. We have a whole bunch of books here. Port Last. There's a new one. The village of 700 is found on the high road between Luskan and Neverwinter, and sides with the latter in the feud between the two cities. 50 men-at-arms from the city of skilled hands, bolstered by 30 of the Lord's Alliance troops, aid the local militia in guarding the town from brigand raids and the harassment of Luskan. The Lord's Alliance troops are mainly from Eltoriel and Baldur's Gate, so that a Luskan attack would risk war with two economically powerful cities. Port Last is a city of skilled stonecutters and has a fine harbor. The stonecutters work at quarries on the coastal headlands just south of the village. Other than harborage and stonecutting, there is little else to recommend it to the traveler today, for it is a tense, suspicious place, always expecting treachery or attack from Luskan. Today, Port Last is ruled by the soldier Kendrak, who recently replaced Heramos Dothwintel as first captain. Heramos was killed during the battle to protect the Port Last from a Sahuagin invasion. In the distant past, when Luskan was held by orcs and Durgar, Port Last was a thriving city. It was the last port in human lands as one sailed north, hence the name. In those days, it was home to 14,000 miners and explorers eager to find gold, gems, and all the rest of the fabled mineral wealth of the north. The city was eventually smashed by orc raids, and the shattered remnants of the old walls still ring it, though much stone has been used to repair local homes or has been taken away and sold. Port Last's outer reaches are overgrown by scrub forest or are used as gardens or graveyards. What else have we got? The Ruins of Illest. The remnants of the ancient city of Illest stand on the southern shore of the Mirar, in the lee of Closeguard Island. All that remains of this once proud city are a few shattered towers and toppled statues choked with creepers and thick brush. These ruins are bounded to the north by Luskan's busy market and to the south by the city's noisy slums, and bisected by the Dark Walk, the street that leads to the Dark Arch. The Dark Walk is named for the haunted reputation that clings to the Ruins of Illest. Fear of the magical traps and guardian monsters, as well as the sleepless undead, has kept most of the tombs and treasure undisturbed. Still, a few enterprising rogues have escaped the ruins with spellbooks, scrolls, magic armor, and rich caches of gems and coins. The dead far outnumber these lucky few, though, and Luskanites have a saying, only the most desperate try to rob the dead of Illest. Luskanites rarely brave the overgrown northern ruins, even in the full light of day. There are persistent rumors of slave traders kidnapping folk and taking them below, a fate often threatened for unruly children by Luskanite mothers. No known maps of the underground chambers and passages exist, and no Luskanite will admit to knowing their ways. Next we have the Doombringers. Ooh, interesting. The world was not always as it is now. There was a time before time, when the land was shaped by the will of the creator races. These were not gods, but the power and magic they wielded was greater than anything seen since. For ages they ruled unchallenged, but at the time of the Great Cooling a new threat emerged. The new races, the lesser beasts that would become you and I, had grown in confidence and power and began asserting themselves on the land. One of the creator races, their name is now lost to the wastes, and let it never be found or spoken again, turned its awesome power to conquest. They brought forth the great warrior machines. They were fearsome to behold, and there was no doubt their intent. They were the Doombringers, and they would unleash devastating power upon the world. The young races should have been trampled underfoot, but fate intervened. The masters of the Doombringers had seen their empire pushed to the edges of the realms, past the peaks of what would become the spine of the world. They huddled in the lonely mountains, waiting for their old glory to return. But this race had upset the greater balance with their war machines, taking away the very life force of the earth around them. They did not heed the groaning of the stone until their great halls and vaults fell around them and closed them under the earth. Entombed, the creators could not mind their doombringers, now standing idle before the forces that would destroy them. The lesser races, the earliest of us, but not yet us. They were as ants beneath the giants, but they slowly brought them down. It was victory, but it was only the inattention of the masters that allowed it. They would not stay buried. The threat would surely come again, and all lived in fear. Until the forgetting. Song and tale have passed the legends of the earliest times, but much has been lost of how we gained our foothold among giants. All we really know is that now we are the masters, the creators of things grand and beautiful, and whatever came before is gone. There are ants beneath our feet that we think nothing of, but it is best to remember that we were once as they, and above us were beings greater than we shall ever be. Let us be mindful and not look away, lest our own doombringers fall. Well, that's kind of ominous in a way, and an interesting story. Even if the doombringers weren't real, though they probably were in fantasy, that is a lesson to learn. Ooh, something to sell. The City of Luskan. I think we already read this. No, we didn't. The City of Sails is a dangerous place, a port city filled with pirates and bloodthirsty thugs. It straddles the mouth of the icy river Mirar and stands as the gateway to the mineral wealth of Mirabar. Luskan is ostensibly ruled by 5 high captains, Terrell, Barum, Kurth, Suljak, and Renthor. However, it is suspected that the real power in Luskan... Have we read it? That the real power of Luskan is wielded by the Arcane Brotherhood from their island tower. The seafaring merchants of Luskan have always been fierce, proud, and warlike. Over their long history, they have feuded with the inland city of Mirabar, the coastal city of Neverwinter, and the island realm of Ruathim. Even today, they sponsor pirates who prey on ships and ports up and down the Sword Coast. They also trade with Amn, Kalimshan, and many other towns that prefer not to be associated with them, but will meet them on the neutral ground of offshore Mintarn. The Mirar River divides the city into 2 major parts. The northern section is a walled enclave, consisting almost entirely of warehouses. The southern half of the city is much older. Outlying walled caravan compounds surround this heavily fortified section of the city. There are 3 bridges that connect the 2 halves of the city. They are the Harbor Cross, Dalath Span, and the Upstream Span. 5 major islands crowd the mouth of the Mirar, and the 3 closest to the south bank are developed. The major areas within Luskan are the Captain's Close, the Harbor District, the Mirabar District, the Reach, and the Spans. One more pile. Return of the Beast. Ooh. At first glance, this ragged tome appears to detail the ancient history of the Sword Coast. Closer inspection reveals the words Return of the Beast scrawled across the original title in an almost childlike hand. Whole sections of the book are crossed out and replaced by an indecipherable code, and weird sketches fill the margins. At one point, the unnamed second author breaks into near coherence, though the entry is obscured by some sort of fluid or slime. A slow change. After ages of waiting, the beast that ruled the land returns to take back their world from the upstarts. The beast will make slaves of the 5 crowns, and put whole races to the lash. The elves, the dwarves, and the kingdoms of men will all fall as one. Okay, someone went a little crazy there. Let's move on. Not really anything else to look at around here, I don't think. Oh, but there does appear to be someone here.
Well, hello there. You have the smell of a prospective employer about you. Not that it's easy to smell anything with all the burning corpses in this city, mind you. Never seen this many flies outside of a Kalimshan alehouse.
Who are you? Me? Well, I'm none other than the renowned rogue Tommy on the Guys. Grin to my friends, Tommy grinned to the lasses, and that damned halfling to anyone in a position of respectable authority. I can forgive you for not having heard of me. However, I hail most recently from Kalimpor, and that's a long way for even my reputation to travel. I'll give it another week, personally. What are you doing in a church? I could ask you the same question now, couldn't I? Well, if you have to know the truth, I was being chased by a pack of hooligans the day before yesterday when I darted in here. Seems like as good a place as any, especially considering the priests don't throw halflings out in the areas as a policy, like in Calenpole. So I've been hanging around looking for something to do. Do you always talk this much? Well, unless you're sneaking up for a good backstab or in the sack with a pretty mess, I don't really see the need for restraint. Silence is for the dead, though I hear they can be a bit chatty too at times. Running from your reputation, are you? Yeah, nothing too wrong with having a bit of a reputation, my lord. Keeps the flies from settling, if you know what I mean. If the heat gets too high, you just step out of the kitchen, right? You know how it goes on shore. Rob some overfat human caliph with piggy lips, kiss his daughter as a lark before you escape with the loot, and suddenly you're the most wanted man in Calamshan. Wait, what? How was I supposed to know that he was so sensitive about his daughter? I still say it was worth it. That took flair, and I have flair. Too bad Neverwinter didn't treat me any better at first. Wait, he hunted you for kissing his daughter? Well, I use the word kissing loosely, my lord. Trouble was, lass was set to marry the Pasha's son, so long as she was a virgin. Ah, well. Okay, what happened then? Neverwinter seemed to find enough city for an enterprising young halfling like myself, on the surface anyway. You'd be surprised at what people get away with here. They can take a perfectly innocent man, accuse him of simple pickpocketing, and throw him in prison without even so much as a trial. Well, not a very fair one, anyway. That just was mean. Fortunately, my stay in Neverwinter's fine prison system was a short one. I didn't arrange for my escape, oddly enough, but I was glad for it nevertheless. So you're a convict, then? Technically, I suppose I am. Trust me, however, they have so many other things to worry about in that prison, even if they thought I wasn't dead, they wouldn't trouble with me. Why do you say that? What trouble? The exact goings-on with the prison I'm not entirely aware of, my lord. Tell the truth, I'd only been in the prison for a few days and was just starting to think about how depressing life was when it all began. The warden of the place began babbling some nonsense and started releasing all the prisoners, even the truly despicable types, murderers, politicians, lawyers, you name it. Oh god, not the lawyers. I left the area quickly, of course, and wound up here at the temple. Nice safe place to be. Last I heard, them prisoners were all tearing up the Peninsula District, making a royal mess. Not the lawyers, though. They were just overcharging. Why would the warden release the prisoners? I really can't say. Some of the other fellows were talking like they were some powerful prisoner who was controlling the warden and making him do these things. It sounds too strange to me. More like he was brain-sick with the plague. The entire Peninsula District is in an uproar, however. I don't think the local constabulary has it under control either. Come to think of it, I saw more than a few people getting attacked in the street in broad daylight. If you head to that part of town, you might want to take someone along who knows the roads, aye? Actually, I'm looking for some hired help to assist me on my mission. Oh, a mission is it? My little pinky toes are quivering with curiosity. Is that my danger sense? That would go a long way towards explaining my recklessness. Oh well, what kind of mission are you on? I work for Lady Erebeth. I'm afraid my mission is confidential. Ah, which makes you some kind of secret agent for the lovely elven lass. Must be exciting. I'd be glad to help out. For the right price. So let's negotiate a bit, shall we? I can place my superior skills of theft, lockpicking, and swordplay at your disposal for any task you choose, providing you can provide me with a nice payment now. I rather doubt you'll find anyone else of my skill available, my lord. 200 gold pieces seems a fair bargain, don't you agree? Seems a little expensive. I'll give you 150. Well, I guess it's either that or I'll spend the next week or two picking lint out of my belly button. Alright, you've convinced me. 150 gold pieces it is. I'll tag along with you, my lord, as best as I know how, unless you tell me otherwise. You want me to do something different? Just give me a shout, aye? And thus we have our companion, Tommy Undergallows, rogue. He'll help with the lockpicking and the like. Yeah, quests. We can still talk with him, though.
Eh? What can Tommy do for you?
Oh, I just want to talk. What do you have in mind, my lord? Do you have any advice or suggestions you can give about my mission? Well, I guess I can tell you a bit about the Peninsula District if you want, but I'm not familiar with the rest of the city. Tell me about it. Well, the prison itself be the most prominent part of the district, eh? Anything interesting that goes on there is bound to be tied up with the prison somehow. When I escaped, a bunch of the fellows being held there had taken the warden over, and the prison too. Something fishy about the whole thing. You'd think the city guard would take control of the prison back, but they've got too much on their plate with the plague, I guess. Anything else? No, I don't think so, my lord. Best to avoid the district altogether. Well, another thing. I'd like to know a little more about you, if I may. Oh? Well, it's a bit strange to have you ask me that, my lord. Most people think they know Tommy Undergallows well enough through his reputation. In Calumpore, the tales of my deeds were the daily fodder of old men in the towns. I do not speak of heroic acts, however. I'm a halfling of the underworld, if you remember. What sort of deeds are you talking about, then? Oh, nothing so sordid and evil as you might guess. I've had fame and fortune aplenty more than once, and lost it all just as often. My most famous exploit, in fact, is one of the reasons I chose to come to Neverwinter when I fled from Calumpore. You see, I'd spent the larger part of my years in Calumpore in the employ of a powerful Medusa. She was a great power in the city's underworld, and that is no small feat for anyone, statue-making gaze or no. Medusa? Are you serious? Quite serious. She had a fine head for business and was as ruthless as any cold-blooded sheik. Not as good with the face-to-face negotiations, though, if you take my meaning. I was in her employ to run errands. Burglaries, message deliveries, walking a cat, assassinations, that sort of thing. I did my job well, too, and was well known for it. The job that made me famous, however, was the last one she gave me. I was to infiltrate the house of the famous Vizier Sabalan Viahead and kill him. Were you successful? I was, though not in the manner you're probably suspecting. There's far more to the story than I've told. We've business to undertake, I suppose. Perhaps I'd best tell the rest of the story another time. What do you say to that, my lord? I mean, I'd kind of like to hear the rest now. Wow, you're more impatient than a drunk camel driver in line at the salt market, aren't you? Ask me another time and I'll tell you everything. Oh, fine, Tommy. Another time. For now, I suppose we can go out and start exploring the city a bit. Here we are. Uh-oh. Is the game seriously crashing again? Fortunately, it didn't take more than a minute or two in order to get back to where I needed to be. So, let's go back into this. Unfortunately, I didn't get the, thing I had before. Oh, please, can you help me? You're the city militia, aren't you? The guards at the gate said I might get help over here, but I don't know if they were serious or not. Slow down, I'll hear what you have to say. Thank you. I don't mean to take you away from your duties. I mean, you're a guard, right? Probably got your hands full, but this is important. It's the Peninsula District. I live in there, and it's just horrible. The killing, everyone running for their lives. It's horrible. Easy then. Tell me when you're ready. Okay. I came from the Peninsula District. That's where my home was. Now it's too dangerous to go there. The prisoners are killing everyone. It's awful. How did these prisoners get loose? I don't know. I just don't know. Captain Elifin has always run such an efficient operation. I hope nothing has happened to him. I mean, I don't know him personally or anything, but I hear he's a good man. I know he would not have allowed this to happen. Is anyone in the district able to fight back? The plague has cut down on the guards in the area. It was safe while people were locked up, but now it's just overwhelming. Some are trying, though. Cedo Sabil is in there. She's one of Lord Nash's trusted, but she doesn't have many people to work with. She's mainly just guarding the gate out of the district now. I may have heard of this. Give me some background on the Peninsula District. Well, it's kind of complicated. The Peninsula District houses the Neverwinter prison. The families of the guards and such live around it. It's been safe for years. It changed a little while ago. The guards never came home from work one day, and now the prisoners are everywhere. First the plague, now the threat of a knife in your belly. I'll see what I can do. You stay here where it's safe. Thank you. I can't say how much this means to me. Do you need directions? I'll tell you just to be sure. The Peninsula District is through the gate on the southwest side of the city core, near the Moonstone Mask. There are guards posted, but I'm sure they'll let you through. Indeed. And we have a large map here right now. We're here. We've got Castle Never there, Black Lake District there, Refugee Shelter, City Gate, the Great Tree, Cloak Tower, Shining Knight Arms and Armor, Beggar's Nest, Moonstone Mask, Peninsula District, Docks District, Trade of Blades. Yeah, fair bit of stuff. Alright, let's start looking around here a bit. Well, you know what, let me talk to this guy first.
Hello.
Can I help you? I cannot be away from my duty for long. Wait, are you a new recruit? Aye, they're replacing the ones we've lost. I need to ask a few questions. The more information you have, the less risk you'll pose to the rest of us on duty. I'll help if I can. I need what do you know about the plague? I know what I'm told. Arabeth and her lot handle the delicate stuff. We common guards keep the peace where we can and maintain the quarantine at all costs. What do you know about attempts at a cure? Not a thing. I was briefed on the watered avian creatures, but nothing since. My life's on the line to keep the streets clear of rioters and looters. I do know that those damned helmless keep getting in our way, though. I swear, their blessings better do half of what they say. What were you told about the watered avian creatures? That the caravan bringing them was attacked when it entered the city. Nobody knows what happened to them after that. Scattered to the wind, I guess. The cure attempt they were for is still up in the air, I guess. They don't tell me about details, they just said keep an eye out for them. Alright, have you heard anything odd? Any rumors? All I hear is how bad things are getting, how many more men we've lost. It's like a war, except you can't make the Wailing surrender. With us gone, the different districts each hold their intrigues, I'm sure. All I know is that we're fighting a losing battle, even here in the core. I need information about places in Neverwinter. Well, you can't keep the peace without knowing where to keep it, can you? Sorry, it's an old card joke my buddy used to tell before. Never mind. What are the different areas of the city? Well, the city's always had districts, but with the quarantine, we've been ordered to lock things down. As a result, each district has ended up handling things differently. Which do you have questions about? There's a Beggar's District, the Docks, the Black Lake District, the Peninsula, and the City Core. I need to know them all. Tell me about the core. Well, the City Core is a business center, and is built around Castle Never. We've been able to keep it largely free of the Wailing, but not entirely. It's also where we keep the tightest rule of law. This is true normally, but even more so now with the plague causing havoc. Of course, with most of what remains of the militia here, the other districts are suffering. Hopefully that's where you can help. Tell me about the Beggar's Nest. Well, the Beggar's Nest is hurting bad. There's a lot of poverty. I've already lost 3 of my men to violence there, and another 8 to Wailing. It's where the plague first appeared. The first few cases were ignored as a problem with the poor, but now there's something else. People are barricading wherever they can, and there are even rumors of undead walking the streets. I'm afraid there's not much the guards can do to help. Come now, there must be more. Look, I'm here to do my job and let you do yours. You want to poke your nose around whatever's in the Beggar's Nest, you go right ahead. Make yourself a hero. Can I ask again? I can. I can keep trying until I eventually get it. Look, the guards are hired to keep the peace and maintain the quarantine. We're hunters of the living, not the dead. We're scared, all right? You should be too. You want to throw yourself at whatever is in there, you go ahead. Good on you. Nobody cared about the Beggar's Nest before, and it's not vital we save it now. Just remember that I've lost better men than you in there. How about the Docks District? Well, the docks are a nightmare to patrol even at the best of times. There's dirty gold there, not a lot of respect for the city guards. The Wailings brought out the worst in them. There's a panic for gold for some reason, not sure why. The rich die too. There's not much we can do. Muggers and bands of thugs have the run of the place now. I guess they won the war. How about Black Lake? Black Lake? Bunch of spoiled nobles. I don't think they've had a good word for the guards in the history of the city. And there's those rumors. People are saying the noble has stumbled on a cure and they won't share with the rest of us. Probably not true, but it would be just like them. I even heard something about them openly threatening some of my guards. If they don't fall in line, the whole place is going to hell. How about Peninsula District? I've heard a lot already, but let's see what you have to say. The Peninsula holds a prison. There's a good number of staff that live in the area, as well as people on their way out. Captain Ale Finn runs the place, and I hope he's doing okay, because he's one of the best the city has to offer. There's been word of a prison riot, though. Tyr only knows we've never been able to instill fear in the inmates, the way the Wailing finally has. That's all we have there. Goodbye. Stay alive out there, recruit. Keep that in mind, thank you. Alright, well, there's plenty more that we have to look around here, but this episode has gone on long enough. Next episode, we'll do some exploring and see what we can see here. Till then, I'm Chester44. This has been a Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights. That is Ken Daniels, and I shall see you all next time.